They sum to 180, so we'll write just an equation to remind us of that. Measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 3 equals 180, because 1, 2, and 3 are my interior angles in this picture. Yesterday, we talked about exterior angles. That should be new. You should not have learned that in 7th grade. Maybe you did. So how do the exterior angles relate to the opposite interior angles? Could someone raise your hand and tell me, please? Or you could give me like an equation like I just gave you. That would work too. Measure angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 equals the measure of angle 4. And you saw me like tear pieces of 1 and 2 and put them on angle 4, and they fit perfectly, which means that they add up to that angle. So today, we're taking that knowledge and applying it, and we're going to be doing things a little bit more complicated. So here's your steps for this. You're going to write one long equation. Some of them will be shorter than others, but some of these are going to seem kind of obnoxious. I promise they're going to simplify to something that you are used to. Well, you can solve these. I'm confident in you. And then you're probably going to combine like terms, but we're going to say simplify, isolate, solve. And in case you've forgotten what those stand for, it's in the front right of the room on the poster. Simplify means to distribute and then combine like terms. If you don't have any distribution, just combine like terms. Isolate means add or subtract to get the variables on one side. So you're going to take one of the variables away if you see variables on both sides. And then solve just means do addition and subtraction and then multiplication and division to undo and get the variable by itself. And then last thing we're going to do, and this is really important, and this is what I see students skip every year, you have to take x, so plug x back in to get the angles. You're going to be finding angle measures. So I'm going to ask you what x equals, but you also have to tell me, using x equals like 3, what will each angle be? I know that, so this first one, find the value of x and the measure of each angle. I'm looking at all interior angles here. What do interior angles add to, guys?
180.
180? So that means I'm taking 5x, 4x, and 3x, and those three angles have to add to 180. So I'm going to write that together, and I'm going to add them up in an equation and set them equal to 180. 5x plus 4x plus 3x, it doesn't matter what order you do, equals 180 because these are my three angles. And these like terms, conveniently, they're all like terms. It will not work like this every time. Make sure you take the sign in front. Positive 5x, positive 4x, and positive 3x. We're adding these up. 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. So 12x equals 180. We have to get x by itself. I see multiplication. Sebastian, how do I undo it? Say it again. Yeah. By 12. I didn't give you calculators. I might let you use them later, so I'll give this one to you. 180 divided by 12 is 15. I see some of you who are flipping your paper over. That's not the final answer, so I probably shouldn't box it. I'm not going to actually do anything with it. I'm just going to say x equals 15. Woohoo! But I asked you to find the measure of each angle. Do not stop at x equals 15. You are not done. You have to now take x equals 15 and plug it into your angle measures. So for example, let's start with 4x. This angle is 4x. What's x equal to? 15. So 4x means 4 times x. So I'm going to put 4 times, I'm going to put it in parentheses. This just means multiplication. 15. 15 times 2 is 30. So this would be 60 degrees. That is a final answer. But you have to do each angle. So you got 60 degrees for 4x. Now you gotta do the same thing with 5x. This is 5 times x, so 5 times 15. 15, 30, 45, 60, 75. 75 degrees. Now for the last angle, you got 2 options. You can just plug it in and get your answer the same way I've been getting in the answer, or you can subtract from 180 and you should get the same thing. I'm going to plug in just because we kind of struggle with this. So this is 3x, which is 3 times 15, 15, 30, 45 degrees. If you'd like to check your answer, then you can make sure that all 3 angles add to 180. I'm going to do that in my head. So 75 plus 5 is 80, 80 plus 40 is 120, 120 plus 60 is 180. Woo! We're good. This is a regular triangle, and right now we have just the interior angles labeled. So Janiyah, remind me again, what do the interior angles add to? Yeah, so let's write an equation and set it equal to 180. My angles are 2x. This seems a little bit weird, but we're just adding everything up. 2x plus x plus 17 plus 2x minus 7 equals 180. You got your angles. So here are my 3 angles. 2, 3. I know I'm going to start with my x's. 2x is a like term to positive x and positive 2x. Remember, we only combine like terms one side at a time. So that would give me 2x plus 1x plus 5x. Tyler, what would that give me?
3.
5x. 5x. Did you subtract accidentally?
I didn't. I already solved it. I'm on the other side.
5x, and then we're going to combine 17, positive 17, and negative 7. Just do it from left to right. 17 minus 7, what would that give me, guys? 10. 5x plus 10 equals, bring down 180, because there's nothing to combine over there. So we have simplified. Variables are on one side, so I don't need to isolate. So now I'm just going to solve. We undo our addition and subtraction first. Bella, so what should I do first? Bingo, because it's addition, and we're going to do the opposite. That should be some simple addition or subtraction for you. I hope 180 minus 10 is 170. Gave it away. 10 minus 10 dies, and you're left with 5x equals 170. You can count like 5, 10, 15, 20 until you get up there. I'll be nice to you. It is 34. Okay? So that's the first part of this problem. Remember, you're not done though. I want each angle. So you have to take 34 now and put it back in. Plug it in for x. So we're going to start with x plus 17. This is not being multiplied. I'm just going to replace x with 34. So it's going to be 34 plus 17 If you cannot do this addition in your head, then you can write it out like we've been doing recently. 34 plus 17, that's 4 plus 7 is 11, carry the 1. 51, does that sound right? All right, so that means that this angle is 51 degrees. That means 2 times x, so Alice said 2 times 34, which is perfect. I'm going to put it in parentheses so I remember to multiply instead of add. Okay, to do this in your head, you can do 2 times 30. What's 2 times 30? 60. And then 2 times 4? 8, so it's 68. So this is 68 degrees. So for this one, it means 2 times 34 first minus 7. Order of operations, our multiplication comes first. 2 times 34 minus 7. Guys, we just did 2 times 34. What is it? 68. So it's 68 minus 7, which you should be able to do in your head, or you can do it on your fingers. Zachary, what is it? 61. Degrees. Angle measures, please. Francesca would call us on that if we didn't do it. So this is, we have our exterior angle and our interior angle for the interior angles, I should say, for these. So let's set it up. It's going to be these 2 green angles add to the exterior angle. So this one's going to look a little bit different. We're not using 180 in this. It's going to be 30 plus 4x plus 2 equals to my exterior angle. So that equals 8 plus 6x. So let's simplify. Joanne, do you see any distribution? That's going to be isolating. Combine like, do you see any distribution? No. Do you see combine like terms? Yes. And you already told it says 30 and 2, right? Okay, let's do that. You're totally right. We've got combine like terms. So 30 and positive 2 gives me 32 plus 4x equals 8 plus 6x. I cannot combine like terms anymore because the only like terms I see are on different sides. Remember, it's like having a brick wall down the middle. So now I'm going to isolate. We're going to add or subtract one of the variables to take it away. Seamus, do you have a preference? Grace, what do you want me to do?
I think that the 4x should go over to the 6x.
How are we going to make it go away? Go ahead.
Subtracting 4x from both sides.
Yes, because it's added right now. It's positive, so we're going to subtract it. You've got to do this step before we solve the rest of it. We're going to get something that looks a little bit weird, and you might get confused. So 32 equals 8. 6 minus 4, top minus bottom is 2x. Now we just got to finish solving this out. We're going to subtract 8 because it's positive, and we're trying to get the numbers away from x. 32 minus 8 is 24. And we'll divide by 2 because that's multiplication. Remember, that's not your final answer. You still got to plug it back in. Four times 12 is 48. So this is 50. 8 plus 6 times 12, 6 times 12 is 72. That is a math fact that you should have learned in elementary school. So it's 80 degrees. So please check your work